Chapter 3. A Walk in the Park. The next day was Thursday. Nick stayed in his hotel room and drove about mountains of morning. Then he drove to Stanley Park in the afternoon. He sat and read a book for an hour. Then he went for a walk under the tall tree. There was nobody here. It was quiet, and he could walk and think. He talked about my cousin and about the man with white hair. Did he know my cousin? Did she know him? He remembered my cousin's last word. Drive carefully, Mr. Hollywood. Why did she say that? Why did she call him Mr. Hollywood? He didn't understand any of it. Suddenly, he heard a noise. He stopped. That was a gun, he thought. There's somebody in the tree with a gun. There it is again. There's something hit the tree over his head. Somebody shooting at me, he thought. He turned and ran, and somebody began to run after him. Nick ran through the trees. There was no sun in there, and it would have died, and there were no people, nobody to help him. I must get to my car, he thought. Find some people, the police. He ran on. He could still hear the gunman behind him, so he ran faster. After 3 or 4 minutes, he stopped and listened. Nothing. It was all quiet. Nick was afraid. What's happening? He thought. Why is somebody shooting at me? First a hand pushing me in front of the car, and now somebody shooting at me. He waited another second or two, then walked quickly back to his car. He was very careful. He looked and listened all the time. But nobody came out of the tree, and nobody shot at him. Then he saw people. Women with young child, some boy with a football, 2 men with a dog. He began to feel better. Nobody can shoot me now, he thought. Not with all these people here. 10 minutes later, he was back at his car. There was leather on the window. He read it. It said, I'm going to kill you, Mr. Hollywood. Nick drove the New Steel police station. He waited for half an hour. Then a young man policeman took him in a small room. Nick told his story, and policeman wrote it down. So, what are you going to do? Asked Nick. Nothing, said the policeman. Nothing, said Nick. But somebody shot at me and Mr. Lost, the police said tiredly. How many people are there in this town with guns? I don't know, said Nick. But you did see the gunman. What is a man? A boy? A woman? Color of eyes? Long hair? Short hair? You don't know, because you didn't see anybody. Maybe it's an old girlfriend. Maybe somebody does like your travel book, Mr. Ross. But what about the man with the white hair and whistler? Said Nick. The girl, McHudson, calls me Mr. Hollywood in the cafe, and this man heard her. And now I get a letter to Mr. Hollywood on my car. Who is it, Mr. Hollywood? We are one answer to our question, Mr. Ross, the policeman said, but we don't always get them. Questions, but no answers. Nick walked out of the police station and drew his hotel. He was angry and afraid. How did the man with white hair find me in Vancouver? He thought. Does he follow me from Whistler? Is he follow me now? Maybe he's staying at my hotel too, in the next room, with his gun. Chapter 4. The man with white hair. Nick stopped his car in front of the hotel. He looked carefully before he got out, but there was nobody with white hair near the hotel. He had ran through the hotel door and went to the desk inside. I'm looking for a man with very short white hair, he said to the woman behind the desk. He's standing here, I think. He's about 60 years old, and he's tall and thin. The woman did not look very interested. There are a lot of visitors in this hotel, she said. Do you know his name? No, I don't, Nick said. He's a friend of friends, you see. He flew in Vancouver yesterday, and I must find him. It's very important. Please help me. The woman looked at him. There are 350 rooms in this hotel, she said, and maybe 30 or 40 men with white hair. How can I remember all the names? She turned away to answer a telephone call. Nick walked away from the deck. A drink, he thought. I need a drink. We went into the hotel bar, got a drink, and sat down at the table. So, what do I do now? He thought. And then he remembered something. A letter in the girl had open bag in the Whistler Cafe. And we can meet at the Empress Hotel, Victoria, Vancouver Island, on Friday afternoon. And tomorrow was Friday. I'm going to Victoria, on Vancouver Island, he thought, to the Express Hotel. Nick had the dinner in the hotel that evening. He finished eating and got up from his table and saw the man with white hair. Nick moved quickly. The man was at the hotel deck. They could see the white head above the other head near the deck. "Excuse me," said Nick. He pushed past the people in the hotel restaurant. A small boy ran in front of him, and Nick ran into him. The boy and Nick fell down on the floor. The boy began to cry. "Hey," said the woman behind Nick. "I'm very sorry," said Nick. He got up and helped the boy to his feet. "Are you okay?" he asked the boy. "Be more careful next time," said the woman. Nick moved away quickly. But when Nick looked at the hotel deck, he couldn't see the man with white hair. He poured through the crowd of people. "That man!" he shouted at the woman behind the deck. "That man with short white hair! Where did he go?" The woman looked at Nick. "Mr. Bickert," she said. "I don't know." "Vickers? Is that his name?" said Nick. "What's his room number?" "I'm sorry, I can't tell you that," the woman said. "But I need to. Can Nick?" The woman turned away to answer the telephone. After a second or two, Nick went upstairs to his room. "Vickers," he thought. "Don't make Hudson know, Mr. Vickers. I need some answers, and I need them quickly." Chapter 5. Vancouver Island. The Watson was about 23 miles south of Vancouver. Nick drove there his car the next morning for the 1 o'clock ferry to Vancouver Island. Every 5 minutes, he looked behind him. The road was busy. Black car, white car, red car, green car. Maybe Vicky was one of them. At the crossing, Nick drove his car onto the ferry. There were lots of cars and crowds of people. Nick got out of his car and walked up and down the ship. He looked for the man with white hair, but he didn't see one. Soon the ferry began to move, and Nick felt better. He found the ferry restaurant and got something to eat. More people came in. Nick looked at the faces of all the older men. Some had hats, so he looked of somebody tall and thin. But there was nobody. "Maybe he's not on the ferry," Nick thought. "Maybe he's back in Vancouver." Later, Nick walked around the ship again. Once, he thought he saw the man with white hair in the crowd, but he could not be sure. 90 minutes after leaving Towson, the ferry arrived at Square Bay on Vancouver Island, and Nick went back down to his car. Square Bay was 20 miles north of Victoria. Nick drove quickly, and again looked behind him every 4 or 5 minutes. Once, he saw a red car about 200 yards behind him. "Did I see that car on the road from Vancouver to Towson?" he thought. He drove more slowly. but the red car soon started to hide the jar behind him, and Nick couldn't see dry face or hair. Soon he was in busy street on Victoria, and Nick didn't see the red car behind him again. Victoria was a city of gardens and beautiful old buildings. Nick liked Victoria very much, but today he wasn't interested in gardens or beauty. He found the Impress Hotel, went inside, and walked across the deck. "Can I help you?" a young man asked Nick. "I'm meeting a friend here in this afternoon," said Nick. "Miss Hudson." "Hudson," said the young man. "Wait a minute." We went away and came back. "Sorry, but there's no Miss Hudson staying here." Nick took something from his pocket. It was a photograph of Meg and her father from the magazine. "This is her," he said. The young man looked at the picture. "Oh, right. You mean Howard Hudson's daughter," he said. "She's not staying here, but I saw her 10 or 15 minutes ago. She went with somebody, a man. He asked me about the tea room." "The tea room," said Nick. "Where's that?" The man with short, white hair was tired. He couldn't sleep, and he couldn't eat. He thought about only one thing, overtime. He drove and he watched, and he waited, and he followed. When he drove into Victoria, the streets were busy, and suddenly he lost the blue car in front of him. Angrily, he drove around the city, past all the big hotels. "I must find it," he said. "I must do it today." Then he saw the Empress Hotel, and the street outside it, a blue car. He drove past the hotel, left his car, and ran back down the street. He went across the road and walked past the downstairs window. There was a big room with tables, a chair, a lot of people. He looked carefully at our faces. "There she is," he said softly. There were two men with the girl. He couldn't see their faces, only the back of their head, but one of the men was in a green shirt. "Mr. Hollywood," the man said, and smiled. "Goodbye, Mr. Hollywood." People in the street turned to look at him, but the man did not see them. He walked up to the door of the hotel and put a hand into his pocket. Inside, the gun was cold and hard.